This podcast may contain certain forward-looking statements concerning Tri-State's plans, performance, and strategies. Actual results may differ materially because of numerous factors, and Tri-State undertakes no obligation to update these forward-looking statements. We urge you to review Tri-State's filings with the Securities and Exchange Commission for a discussion of these.
Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Ruth Marks. So, Ruth, as an introduction, can you tell us your name, cooperative role, and how many tri-state annual meetings you've attended?
My name is Ruth Marks. I'm the CEO at Mountain View Electric. I think this is maybe my 25th Tri-State annual meeting. So, yeah, I've been here a time or two.
We're glad to have you here this year. You have experience on both the G&T side and then also with multiple distribution systems, and now as CEO of Mountain View. Can you tell us about how that plays into how you make decisions, how you do your work?
Absolutely. It's definitely helpful having experience on both sides of the business. I started out on the distribution side and learned a lot about the members at the end of the line. When I went to Tri-State, particularly in transmission maintenance, I could keep that perspective of who really pays the bills, where the money comes from, and who we're really serving and the challenges that they're facing in mind as I make decisions at Tri-State. Also, knowing how Tri-State functions helps me every day at Mountain View Electric. I understand the decision-making processes, the roles at Tri-State, and more importantly, I understand the resources that are available and the level of expertise that the people at Tri-State really have in terms of supporting the distribution co-ops.
That's huge, seeing how it all comes together.
Yes.
And then at a distribution system, you are really working to provide value to your end use consumers, your members. What does that look like for you? What are you focusing on?
Um, it's actually the same as the mission that Tri-State's also accomplishing. So it's reliability, it's affordability, resiliency, and responsibility. And those are the very same values that we have at the distribution co-op. So it works nicely together. For sure, the most important thing to our members is reliability. Doesn't matter how affordable electricity is if it's not there when the member needs it. So that's kind of the point that we start on is reliability. But if at the end of the day they can't pay their bill, that doesn't help either. So those two are always working together. You have to balance reliability and affordability, but that truly is what the members care about. And it's nice to see that Tri-State has the same values as the distribution co-ops.
Yeah. And you were talking too about how that sense of reliability and resilience, you're learning from your members about what's important to them. What does that look like?
Yes. So every day you hear from members, particularly in the winter months when there's storms. And if you unfortunately have outages, very quickly you find out what your members value and what they need from you. And that is particularly on those cold winter nights. You know, they want to be warm and they want to be cozy. And that's what's important to them. So therefore, that's what's important to us as well.
That's huge. So yesterday you moderated the member panel during our membership meeting, and we got to hear from a diverse group of members. What's the value that you get or that everybody gets out of those kinds of discussions and hearing from different members?
I think I heard so much after that panel from so many people about how nice it was to hear how different we all are, particularly Molly from a very small co-op and the struggles and challenges she has. But really, the entire panel has something different going on that makes it unique. And when there's so many of us, we have so many different pieces that we're all working on to bring together to serve our members. At the same time, there's so many things that are very, very similar between the distribution co-ops. And I felt like it was really nice to talk about that and to bring that to light for other people.
That's great. And that's not your first experience with one of those panels. Do you have historical experience that you want to share too?
I do. About 4 years or so ago, Chris Pink and I moderated, well, it wasn't a panel, it was a presentation on Tri-State rebuilding a line that had come down, uh, maybe 8 months earlier out by Brush, Colorado, where we lost 10 miles of line, and how the Tri-State transmission crews from all 3 regions came together to rebuild that line. And so it was fun to tell that story of really the folks from Tri-State working day and night to get that line put back up to serve our members. So that was a fun panel.
Awesome. It feels like meetings like this give you that chance to tell those stories
Yeah.
in a more complete fashion,
Yeah.
too.
Absolutely.
Well, that is great. I think we will wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure talking to you today.
Yes, thank you, Elizabeth. You too.
Thanks for tuning in to Western Watts. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, or on our website at tristate.coop/wwpod. We'll catch you next time.